What makes a hard game difficult? Take Dark Souls, a game commonly referred to as hard and challenging. Is it the enemies, the controls, the level layout, or a combination of those factors that make it tough? Of course, difficulty is subjective, and it can be overcome through practice and patience. So with Beatmania DaDaDa for the PlayStation 2, I figured it wouldn't be any different. And to an extent I was right, but also very, very wrong. Beatmania is usually played on a turntable controller with either 5 or 7 buttons and a scratch pad. That alone can make for some crazy hard patterns to press and remember. This game uses a dedicated Beatmania QWERTY keyboard though. That's quite a few more buttons than normal, so you can probably see where this is going. The keyboard itself is, okay? The keys do feel quite sticky, though to be fair this is brand new, so it's not even been worn in yet. It is however big and stable enough that it's comfortable to play on. More importantly, you do actually need this keyboard, the game won't function without it, so if you try and emulate this you'll just get an error message, which means you can't use a better mechanical keyboard if you wanted to give this a go. Upon starting the game you're presented with 3 main modes. The first 2 are typing lessons, with the third actually being the normal Beatmania experience. Having used keyboards since being a child with my ZX Spectrum, my typing speed and accuracy is average. According to this random online test I took, it's classed as just about fluent. So along with this being a Japanese only game, I figured I'd take baby steps before venturing into full-blown mania. The first lessons are designed to get you used to touch typing and focus on the middle row of keys. This slowly progresses to adding in more keys as the lessons grow harder. There isn't any lanes or music to follow, this is strictly a typing tutorial aimed at making you better. You can also repeat them as many times as you wish, with it displaying your results at the end. I can't say I was expecting this when I first had a go at this. I figured it would be like any other version of Beatmania with easier songs at the start leading to more complex songs as you progress. So after I had my fill of typing out words and sentences, I decided to skip straight ahead to the main portion of this game. This is when I quickly learnt that no amount of training would have helped anyway. This plays like you'd expect it, albeit with a lot more lanes than normal and the scratch lane being in the middle operated by hitting the spacebar. When notes come down, it's now not only a case of hitting it at the correct time, but also the correct key. Again, this doesn't sound or look too difficult. When you select a song, you get to see which keys will be used in it, with lower star songs only using the middle row, all the way up to max star songs using the whole keyboard. But regardless of the difficulty, it's partway through songs that things change up again. For brief periods, you're tasked with typing out 4 words that are displayed and scroll down the screen. At the beginning, it's just a mere 3 or 4 letter words that appear in both Japanese and English thankfully. The quicker you input them, the better score you get. This is an interesting addition to spice up the gameplay, but ultimately it's one of the main difficulties this game has. You see, when you start trying to play harder songs, dealing with extra keys and more difficult patterns is one thing to contend with, and these sort of things can be learnt like any rhythm game. But on the harder songs, much longer words appear, and again, they're Japanese words. For some people this may not be an issue. Personally, I don't speak or write fluent Japanese, and I know just about enough to get me by as a tourist. So having some random 15 to 25 letter word pop up means my score instantly tanks and I fail the stage. Now to be fair, this is not the game's fault at all. That would be like me criticising other Japanese games I own and saying they're bad or difficult because of the language barrier. But it definitely adds to an already hard game in a way I know I'll never set any scores on at least half the tracks in this game, unless I write them down myself. The music though is as good as ever, and that's if you like the variety in genres Beatmania is known to have. From what I played, there's a mix of songs from previous games and the odd new one. Knowing some of these greatly helped, as I already knew the timing and potential layouts, even if it required a completely different set of keys to be pressed. And like other versions, there's always the autoplay option, so you can at least hear how a song sounds properly and see how it's meant to be done, even if the computer manages to input complex words in an instant, making you feel like an idiot. Graphically it's a Beatmania game, and at this point they all kinda look the same. The colours are bright, the animation's good, and everything is clear to see, so it's easy to know which buttons you're meant to be pressing. It's nothing that'll impress you, but it's never exactly been one of the standout features the series is known for. So is this worth a purchase? Much like the difficulty of the game, I say it's hard to say. There's definitely fun to be had with it, and I'm sure with more practice I could actually get better. The songs are good even if I end up butchering them. I think as a party game though, it could be quite a laugh, as typing is a skill most people have these days, so it won't be as daunting to play as something like Dance Dance Revolution or other rhythm games. But unless you're intrigued enough to learn and develop those skills further while playing to music, I'd honestly say give it a miss. So much like the Game Boy game, it's more of an interesting, quirky title to own, even for Beatmania hardcore fans. I'm glad I own it though, because it's quite a unique item to add to the collection, and to be fair, if I ever need a spare keyboard, I now have one. If you can find it for cheap enough and any of this look fun to you, then by all means give it a go. But I'd honestly say if you're interested in Beatmania at all, then save up for a proper controller so you can play the game properly. I've been Tom for VPG Gaming, thanks for watching and have a great gaming day.